You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast. And this is show number 557 for Sunday, the 27th of July, 2025.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle. We can officially say school's out for summer, can't we now, for you?
It is now, yeah, it is. I'm very excited for a fantabulous summer. I have just had a planning call with one of my friends about the upcoming trip in August. So I'm starting to thinking about cruise decorations for the door. I'm starting to think about clothes, what things I'm going to need to print out, such as the Esther, the passporting date, updating the airlines things, all of the admin that goes with a carefree trip to the States.
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to have a checklist, and then just as you think you've got your checklist sorted, something else crops along and think, oh, I must remember to do that. Seen too many horror stories of people getting to airports in the UK and them not having their Esther sorted. Oh.
Yeah, big top tip. Have your Esther sorted and an original printout of it, because they sometimes ask for it. And with our flight times being very different to the opening hours, they might not be able to get a copy for you and validate you in time to get on the plane. So always take that paper copy with you.
Yeah, I'm still old school. I don't care what people say. I've had too many problems with scanning things on phones. Keep it, yeah, give me a bit of paper, I'm sorted.
Absolutely. Chalk and slate, Jane.
I'm not quite that old, thanks, Michelle.
Well, we have a podcast ahead of you with a mixed bag of news, views from Jane and myself. And I think I want to start with a little word about the 70th, Jane, because that was on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's the date Walt said it was the official anniversary, although his brother actually classed it as the day after, because that's when people were actually dipping their hands in the pocket to actually get in.
Bit of semantics, I suppose, there, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And I have been very fortunate. A good friend of mine has been over there and been deluging me with lots of pictures and content and info. It was crazy, Jane.
As you would expect it to be, Michelle, to be fair. I would have,
True. He did manage to go and see the Walt Disney animatronic in the Opera House, and I have a video. I will share it. Literally halfway through, it broke down.
Oh no.
Yeah, first day jitters and all that.
Well, unfortunately, with this highly tech stuff, it's going to be an inevitable consequence sometimes, isn't it? That these things won't always run as smoothly as we would like them to.
Yeah, but the 70th, the park just looked amazing. The decorations, the music. I just hope I can get there in the next, 18 months.
Yes, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Who knows, Michelle? Who knows? Never say never and all that.
Yeah, off to the shop after recording to buy that lottery ticket.
We've not done that yet. I think last week you said you were going to be doing that.
I've been busy. I've got to be in it to win it. Anyway, I'd like to start with some news from Disney about some additional locations you can pay them to be married in the Disneyland Resort.
Oh, okay. So what are they now doing? New places?
Well, they've got 3 places in Disneyland itself where you can tie the knot.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, this is going through Disney Weddings, so there is a premium, and it's very much like you could do your own Disney trip to California, but there are certain things that can only happen magically if you do it through Disney with ABD.
Yes,
so if you're wanting a Disney wedding, there are only certain things that you can do if you do it through Disney. And I know earlier in the month I shared it was my Disney anniversary of my wedding, and I had got elements of Disney theme parks into that said wedding. But this is if you have an unlimited budget and you want to pay Disney. Well, how about the Magnolia Park gazebo? And this is right outside Tiana's Palace.
Oh, bet that looks pretty.
It looks so pretty, and especially with all the beautiful white flowers, the candles, how they've got it set up is amazing. I will pop some pictures onto our website, disneydreamgirls.com, if you want to have a look. And it can accommodate up to 30 people. So if you want a fairly intimate place, I think that just looks really good. And maybe you could have a little ride on the Disneyland Railroad after you tie the knot.
Oh, how romantic.
It is. Now, this is available only before the park opens in the morning. So you've got to be an early bird to catch this worm.
Oh, I'm just thinking of the how many hours are you going to have to get up? At what unearthly hour to be doing your hair and your makeup? It's
Yeah,
like,
true.
oh, yeah.
Another option would be in the same sort of vicinity is the Magnolia Park Terrace, which is just steps away from the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, bit of a spookier vibe, maybe.
Yeah, it's more sort of dressed here with black seating and purple flowers to really sort of get that mansion effect. And again, that is an early morning one.
Do you like the idea of black and purple? More my colour scheme.
Yeah, that one again is for 30 guests.
Mm-hmm.
How about if you've got a really small wedding party of up to 10 guests?
Okay.
Having your ceremony at the Fantasy Fair Garden, where the backdrop is the castle.
Oh, now that is romantic. Having a princess castle in your wedding photos.
10 guests,
Mm-hmm.
ceremony location, floral and decor, ceremony transportation, officiant, dedicated photographer. And did I say the backdrop is the castle?
I think you did mention the backdrop would be the castle, yeah.
Yeah. All over at Disneyland. But did you realise, Jen, if you were wanting to plan a Disney wedding via
Mm.
Disney, there's over 100 wedding and vow renewal venues that you can dip into, including California, Florida, as well as Alani and Disney Cruise Line.
Wow, I would not have thought there would have been that many different venues, places that you could either renew or actually get married at. Wow.
Yeah,
I don't suppose they're volunteering any prices on these things. I bet it's all priced by inquiry, isn't it?
absolutely. And to be honest, Jen, if you need to ask the price, you can't afford it.
This is very true, Michelle. Very true.
I have heard from a couple of people who have gone down this route and had their own fairy tale experience. And a good idea is, and this is to those people who want to pop the question,
Mm.
you can book a capture your moment photographer, have a quiet little chat with them
Ah.
about this is going to be a proposal, but the
Mhm,
other half
mhm.
doesn't know about it. And you can have a Disney photographer capturing the moment where you propose. And that would be a spectacular way to do that. And you can have it in several locations across Disneyland or Walt Disney World. And it is not that expensive either to do that.
Mm. Maybe like a little halfway house sort of thing, isn't it? Between
Yeah.
doing that and rather than going the whole hog with the wedding, yeah.
So that's something that you can think about if you wanted to do that. Or you can do it my way, where you stay at the Walt Disney World Resort and then you get your wedding license from that courthouse over there at Orange County, I believe I went to. And you'd get the legal stuff done there and then celebrate at the resort.
Yeah, because then you can do all the things that are important, special to you. You can have the treats that you want, you can have the location that you want, and more importantly, you can have the people that you want with you.
Absolutely. So that was a little chat about that. And I now want to move on to some news from Walt Disney World, because unless you have been hiding under a stone and not been on the internet, you will be aware that Starlight has premiered along Main
Mm.
Street and lit up the night with finally a nighttime parade at the Magic Kingdom.
Been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It's been an incredibly long wait, and we've said for a long time it needed something. I've not yet seen it in person, so I'm not going to I'm not going to sort of say anything about my thoughts because I don't think it's fair until I've seen it. But there are a
Absolutely.
few comments I think we both would like to make that any seasoned veteran vlogger watcher would be able to do. First float, Blue Fairy.
Yes, because this is all about starlight and stars and wishing on stars, isn't it? So a
Yeah.
very apt start to the performance.
And she travels on a huge vehicle which is lit up, and she's got wings, she's got a big star fairy wand. Lovely.
Yeah, very nice. They seem to have got it from bits and bobs that I've seen. The characters playing the people playing the characters have got words to be said, and that's all very well choreographed in time to the audio that you're hearing.
Next one up was the Wish Float, and this is from the film where
Mm,
Asher is there. Um,
yeah.
as I've not seen Wish, when I saw it, I thought, who's that? Because I had no idea that this princess even existed. And it may look
Yeah.
better in person. That is all I'm prepared to say.
I think I've heard it been described as a bit of a filler float. It's kind of like if you think back to some of the older parades that we've had in the past, there'd often be like a tinier float that would be in between the bigger floats, and it kind of feels a little bit like that.
Yeah.
I did recognise who it was. I have seen the film, and this is just my own personal opinion, obviously. I ain't rushing back to watch it again. Let's just put it that way. It ties in because obviously the film is about, again, having that star and wishing on that star. So you can see why it's there in the parade. And I suspect that when this parade was being put together, being choreographed and designed, etc., it would be around about the time that the movie was coming out. Unfortunately, the movie didn't do that well at the cinema. So it is going to
Mm.
have a little bit of reaction, like you've just said, Michelle, where if you've seen the movie, you perhaps realise who it is, but if you haven't, it could land a bit flat.
And I suppose the profit they made on the film is possibly the budget that is reflected in the craft of the making of the float, because let's just say it ain't very big and it looks like someone's raided their Christmas fairy tree lights and wrapped it round a tree trunk.
Yeah, I mean, we have to caveat the fact that we are seeing this on video and in photographs, so it could look better in person.
Yeah, true. We get a few dancers coming up now, or I don't think technically they are dancers. I just think they're streetwalkers carrying some sort of thing, structure attached to their backpack. And then we have Encanto.
Yeah, I must admit that the performers they've got as far as I know, there's two lots of these type of performers where they're in black and they have attached to them. I think we've got butterflies as we get towards Encanto, and then we've got shapes for the frozen float that comes a little bit later. I did think it was a little bit weird, and I personally think the lights could do with being a bit brighter, but then again, it
Mm.
could look totally different again in person. Um, I think because my experience of nighttime parades has been Spectrum Magic and Main Street Electrical, and when you see walking performers, they have been covered in lights. So I think that
Mm.
maybe the expectation in the back of people's minds that have seen those parades historically might be expecting to see walk along character performers in a similar sort of garb. I see what they're doing. So they're in black to distract from the fact that there's the lights you should be looking at are the ones that they're carrying above them. But anyway, yes, we then go on to Encanto, and I have to say, I thought from the what I've seen so far, the girl playing Mirabelle was brilliant. I thought she
Oh,
really captured her.
comment any negativity about the characters. Absolutely fantastic. The float is a vibrant colour, the oranges and the fuchsias, absolutely phenomenal. As to the characters and people walking in between, just times that number by 10 and you'll get a better
Yes.
impression in my view anyway. But yeah, that looks really good. The outfits seem to pop. And then we get Frozen, and it's based on Frozen 2. So you've got Into the Unknown as the
Mm.
soundtrack coming through.
Yeah, which is an interesting choice. You know, 'cause I think everybody would expect it to be Let It Go, wouldn't you, really?
Mm.
I mean, I do like that song, Into the Unknown. It's one of those little, you know, wormy type songs that gets in your head and you can't get it out.
And I think because you've got Anna and Elsa in the afternoon parade as well, it's nice they've gone down that different route. So I'm
Yeah.
happy with that. Then you have, oh my word, the Princess Float. And I think it's a classic of all the Disney parades that they have a whole host of Disney princesses stuck on a float,
Yeah.
and they look sensational in their outfits, waving. I think, again, elongate this, make it longer, more princesses. I would prefer that, to be quite honest, but it's lovely that it is there.
Yeah, they hit all the beats, don't they? They've got your classics, the
Yeah.
classic princesses who you'd expect to see on the float, and those that don't appear on this one do appear later on as well. But yeah, I think it'd be nice if that, because I mean, in the past that princess float has been huge.
Then we go on to Coco, vibrant, colourful, very, very well played out.
Hmm.
Again, there was sort of dancers in the space, and again, just multiply the number of them and add a little bit more fairy lights.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I'm in agreement with you there, Shell.
Moana, absolutely sensational. I love anything to do with Moana. There's a lot of performers beforehand. Again, more please, Disney. Get more people on the parade float route.
Absolutely. I think that at the time, I was just going to say, I think those performers do work really well as well with them being in black because they've got the scarves that they're using to represent water and waves. I think that does work really well. It's very effective. But like you say, put a handful more in there.
Peter Pan, oh my word. Tinkerbell comes in, and I'm sure I heard on that Disney Imagineering thing that the outfit that Tinkerbell wears is one of the most expensive character outfits they've ever created.
Wow.
I looked at it and I thought, really? But I gather they've got bespoke wigs being made, and there's all the lighting. It does look really good that she's leading the way with the amazing Peter Pan float behind, because obviously you've got the Elizabeth Tower. Yes, it's not Big Ben, it's the Elizabeth Tower coming towards you, and you've got Peter and Wendy. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah, I mean, her wings are quite intricate patterned. So whether
Mm.
that's to do with the expense at all, I don't know. But at the end of the day, you know, LEDs means that we can do an awful lot more with light. I think we had a quick glance, Simon and I, at one of the older parades, and it was very much the lights are either on or the lights are off. Whereas at least with this, you can get these patterns of lights forming because you can program the LEDs to do what you want to do. So that I think is what we're able to see more in this parade, the actual lights dictating, I suppose, what's happening, having their own choreography, I suppose.
Then, to me, the finale, Whimsy, the Starlight Train, when I heard the music, that little nod to Main Street Electrical Parade, I could feel the
Yeah.
the sort of like feels and the knot in my throat, the tears welling in my eyes, because that music is so recognizable, and I love the fact they've done that.
Oh, absolutely. I think just that acknowledgement of what's gone before and how beloved these parades have been in the past, you know, and I do like when they put those little Easter eggs in there. And then it's a case of those of us that know, we know.
But again, bigger, more, longer.
Yeah, I can only hope that this is like Starlight version one, and that as and when they
Mm.
get this working and running more and operational and being a success, because it's obviously going to draw crowds into the Magic Kingdom, because obviously annual pass holders are now having to make reservations to get into the Magic Kingdom.
Mm.
They can't just, it's gone past 2, we can get in anymore. They're obviously expecting this to be that draw, so hopefully that means that they recognise it and can plus it up a bit and keep adding to as time goes by.
Yeah, because the last float has this sort of like name, Disney Starlight. To me, I would have like a couple of them, one at the beginning to sort of
Mm,
announce the name of the floats and of the parades that's going to follow. But that sort of type of vehicle could fill in between and have different sort of colours. And I know they've gone for this dark navy ethereal colours with the very bright poppy, bright white light, but it would be nice to have a little bit of colour. Again, a hint, a nod
mm.
to what's gone before. And I know you've never seen it in person, but when you think and you compare what this looks like on video to what Paint the Night looks like on video,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's chalk and cheese. You can obviously tell the budget on this was nowhere near the budget that they had on Paint the Night, which is a shame.
Yeah, I think this is sometimes what we see between the differences between Disneyland and Disney World. They recognise that at Disneyland they're playing to the home crowd, and therefore they've got to make sure that anything they do is done A plus 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 plus. Whereas I think sometimes, unfortunately, with Disney World, because they go, oh well, we've got all these tourists coming in, we'll just give them a bit of something and they'll be happy. And it's like, no, guys, come on, because a lot of us, and there's a lot of people that view Disney World as their home park, and it needs to be treated with the same care and reverence as Disneyland, as does any Disney park around the world.
So we will wait and see. I've got friends seeing it in the person right now, so we will see what they think. But I will be there, obviously, towards the mid-end of August, and
Mm,
I get to see it myself. From what I have heard, if you are wanting to see the 9 o'clock presentation, you need a good 90 minutes camp out
mm.
on Main Street, or you could go for a spot sort of up Liberty Square area where it's about 45 minutes prior, or just wait till 11 o'clock when everyone with kids has left and it's much quieter.
I must admit that was my first thought of a plan of attack would be see the fireworks at 10 and then catch the 11 o'clock version.
Yeah, because at 9 o'clock, guess where I'm going to be? I'm going to be riding Tron because it's a 15-minute walk on.
Exactly, exactly.
Can I just sort of urge people to remind each other of the love and care we have for our fellow Disney fans? And while waiting for a parade spot, please don't try and steal somebody's space, because
Mm.
people have been sat or stood for a fair chunk of time. And when someone tries to muscle in and get your spot, people do get a bit angry. And sadly, this week that has happened when a 17-year-old girl has been reported as being injured during an altercation this week while someone was trying to watch Starlight, where somebody is reported to have put her hands on them, causing a sort of like nail mark into the person's left arm.
Wow.
And this particular person was arrested and taken to Orange County Jail on a child abuse charge because the person that was allegedly injured was under the age of 18.
Yeah, it's like if we all just kind of go in there with a nice calm attitude, I mean, I'm happy to make way for people shorter than me, little kids and stuff. I'm quite happy like let children come and stand in front of me. But, at the end of the day, the parades are happening. You make the decision whether you're going to wait for an hour and a half, 2 hours to see that parade and have that prime spot, or like you said, Michelle, you purposely wait till a later parade, or you go to an area of the park where that wait time is not so long.
So, talking about lawsuits,
Oh, okay, not another one.
yeah, this is linking to a medical emergency that happened at Be Our Guest restaurant.
Oh, I've not heard of
And
this.
this happened last August. So
Right.
literally, I could have been in the park at the same time that this happened. And the person involved had informed their server of an allergy.
Mm.
to tree nuts and ordered from the special allergen-free menu. We all know Disney's very accommodating with that. And the server brought bread and salad to the table. The family are claiming that the server said it was nut-free. After finishing the salad, the person involved felt an immediate allergic reaction coming on, took some medication. However, it caused a swelling in her throat. And obviously, if you've got an anaphylactic reaction
Mm.
coming on quite instantaneously, you need to have that EpiPen. And as this person's throat began to swell, she was wanting to use the EpiPen, and she was escorted to the private area in the Be Our Guest restaurant so she could wait for medical treatment to arrive and take her into hospital. I gather the person involved had a 3-day stay at Celebration Hospital and had quite a, I think sometimes when you have an anaphylactic shock like this, it can happen in waves where even a couple of days after it can get worse and have serious repercussions. And I think this happened. And the family are claiming that Disney didn't reach out to them once they'd gone to the hospital, and their hospital fees in the region of $40,000. And obviously, there's a lot of financial and emotional stress that comes with this type of thing.
Mm.
So there is a lawsuit in progress. Yeah, we will wait and see if we ever get to hear anything further about that. But yeah, it's quite a frightening thing because to me, I've always known Disney to be very accommodating. But for me as well, if I knew I had this type of nut allergy, it would now make me a little bit more anxious about ordering food in the park.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for anybody that has a very severe allergy, and it's not just Disney. Obviously, it's going anywhere.
That's it for this week's podcast. I'm going to sign off this week's show. Remember, you can find us on Patreon/Disney Dream Girls. You can find us on Instagram at DisDreamGirls. Our website is DisneyDreamGirls.com. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.